Good morning, hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with HeisHockey.com, the Victorious Hockey Company, and the world famous junior hockey discussion group on Facebook. You are watching the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network. That's WSBN.TV, Facebook, X, YouTube. Gotta stop saying Twitter. Excellent. Today is Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. Today's topic, pay-to-play dressing room monitors. Yeah, we're going there again. It has become painfully apparent that the bulk of today's pay-to-play junior hockey players have completely lost their minds when it comes to behavior in the changing room. And that's just from one league. I'm sure there's more to say about the other leagues, the non-sanctioned leagues in the country. But today, we have three issues from within the North American Three Hockey League. Shockingly enough, the other problem, aside from the kids not getting it, is that parents simply don't care. From sexual hazing incidents to players breaking out the vape pipes in between periods, the kids are out of control and probably have no real interest in correcting it. We are in February, so that's going to happen late in the season. But come on, boys. The not my problem parents that have allowed their golden child to grow up without the world of consequences may be rethinking that parenting plan when the boy ends up crushing his own future with a stockpile of bad choices. I once posted a link to a vaping article into a team's parent group on Facebook, only to have the parent, the main parent, the facilitator of that group, delete the article and kick me out of the group because her son was the captain of the team and didn't want a bad impression on her son. She was okay with vaping. Why would a parent do that? Maybe because she knows that the issue will reflect badly on her son as a captain. But he's not the only one. The problem exists in the majority of pay-to-play dressing rooms across the continent. Those bad choices include the humiliation of a younger player, witnessing such bad behavior, and some others not being man enough to step up and stop it. Then there are the unhealthy choices of drugs and alcohol, marijuana vapes that seem to be plaguing really all of pay-to-play this year. That see no evil mentality has certainly cut the hope out of many hockey dreams. Considering the number of incidents we are hearing about so far the first half of the season, it's become very clear that teams better step up to control their stupidity. Failure to do so may result in the real parents starting to pull their players from undisciplined teams. What about the legal liability teams could face by allowing the uncurbed behavior to continue? That should certainly be the case of underage hazing victims. What if something worse occurs? What if that victim leaves the locker room and commits suicide? We're talking about hockey players. Some of these kids are 16 years old. Others are 21. And the maturation levels between one and the other is extreme. We've seen less mature 20-year-olds out there this year more than any time in history. These kids are just idiots. Maybe I'm being a little bit too dramatic for you. What if these kids who are sucking on the marijuana vapes grab one laced with fentanyl and passes away? We talked about that a few different times over the last 6 months, but now we've reached epidemic performance situation. A team has this is from an attorney out in California. A team has a fiduciary responsibility to provide a safe environment for all players, and especially underage players. Teams do assume responsibility regardless of what's said in the player agreement. Just ask the Chicago Blackhawks. It has become very clear that teams need to stop trusting their players to police their own behaviors. I don't know if that means an assistant coach in the locker room during the week and maybe even a volunteer on the weekends for games. But it is clear there must be a more responsible human in most of these locker rooms to check the illegal and certainly destructive behaviors. Interesting. I don't hear about these same behaviors from the USHL, the North American Hockey League, or very many of the Canadian Junior Hockey League programs, or even the BCHL. It's mostly at these lower level, non-sanctioned leagues and the 3HL. Maybe that's because those players in the higher level free-to-play leagues share a higher level of commitment to their developmental opportunity and understand the risk associated with disruptive behaviors. Here's what I know. I am pretty sure that almost every town has plenty of security companies that would probably take it as a sponsorship to put one of their guys in the changing room. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't interact with the players. He sits there and observes. That's it. If that became the only option, owners would be passing those additional costs on to the players. At pay to play, I get it, and they should share those costs. How many incidents will it take before leagues decide to go to this response? I know, not very cool having a locker room monitor, but are we at that point? Maybe the kids, you give them one strike. Hey, you curb the behaviors, or this is your second strike. You don't get one. You get a monitor in the room. We shouldn't be talking about this, right? We don't have this issue in other sports, do we? Sure we do. But the bottom line is other sports don't have a free-for-all when it comes to getting players onto the team. Let's face it. 90%, let's go a little bit lower, maybe 60% of all pay-to-play hockey players probably shouldn't be there. They should probably be in school. And we're talking about kids that really have minimal opportunity of doing anything in the game outside the ACHA D2 and D3 areas. And even then, they're competing for a stall with a kid that just came out of high school. Grow up, boys. Grow up. If you really want to make it to college hockey at a decent level, grow up. Let's drop the 20 bombs from these pay-to-play teams. They're irrelevant now, for the most part. There are certain exceptions. They get dropped out of a higher level league and they had to finish the year at Tier 3. Maybe that's an exception. But if you played your entire career at Tier 3, from 17 to 21, it's time to get on with your life. And maybe stop the shenanigans, and we won't be talking about this all the time. Until tomorrow, hope that you enjoy your morning coffee and have a great day in hockey.